doing alright. Just a bit tired. I had to wake up like 5. I had to like wake up like 5:30 or something. So, yeah. I mean, that's when you're limited on the streamer stuff. It's kind of what ends up happening. That's fine. Work with what you got. So you just work with what you got. Such is life indeed. So we got to watch kind of like a glitched version of this, or a glitchless version of this. Last one. Yeah, so now we get to watch them how like a glitched version. Exciting. It'd definitely be fun. Thank you, Stomach. Thank you for your input. It's good. I'm just gonna mute the music. Unmute. Let's see, transition, and just count me down when you're ready. Thank you, Stomach. Thank you for your input. It's good. I'm just gonna mute. Unmute. VLC. Transition. Oh, can you hear me? Oh, no, I was saying you're live. Yeah, no, I'm saying you're live on the channel, on the stream, on their stream. Oh, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Yes. Yep.
I should be streaming to the
You're
dummy channel
live
already.
on this. Okay. I've put
stream,
you on
on
their
live,
stream. Is what I'm saying. Yes.
I think so. Yeah, I've got the key set up.
Just count me down when you're ready. You're live on this. Okay. I've put you on to live. Is what I'm saying.
Oh, are we live now?
Yes.
Oh, all right. Let's.
Yes. Just count me down when you're ready.
Oh, right. Okay. Hello, everybody. Welcome to YeGA1 Chronicles for the PC. We're gonna be running shortly. I'll count down to the start of time. So time starts when I select difficulty on new game, and we'll go from there. All right. You ready? We'll go in 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Alright, so hello everyone, I'm TheBarinade. I'm here from Australia, running at 7:20 AM in the morning. It was a little bit difficult to get up for this run, not gonna lie. But we made it! We're here on time. And we're ready to go fast. Alright, so if you've ever played this game before, or seen it in the past at some point, you're most likely familiar with the version of this game that's released on Steam at the moment, which came out in 2013, which looks very similar, but it's released in English. Now, the main difference between this game and that game is that this game is in Japanese, and that's really the most important thing, because Japanese text is... I forget exactly how much faster over the course of the run, but it's very significantly faster over English. Alright, let's just pop on over here, talk to the nurse, and begin our wild quest to save the world. Or at least the first half of it, anyway. So this game was released originally, or well, YeGA1 was originally released in 1987 on the PC Engine 88 in Japan, and then on the TurboGrafx 16 in America, I believe. This version specifically, that version looks a lot different to this version, but this version was released on the PSP first in 2009 in Japan, and for whatever reason, that version of YeGA was then backported to the PC as this version, later the same year in 2009. And then all of the Chronicles versions were based off of this version, which is also... Oh no, Johan! Okay, we don't want to talk to NPCs, that wastes time. Alright, hold on, let's buy a wing. It's the only item we need here at the moment, and like run back out. Yeah, so this version came out in 2009. The Steam version of this game came out in 2013. And that's all there really is to it. Alright, hold on. we're gonna set up for the very first glitch, which wasn't here in the last marathon we did. So we're gonna clip out of bounds right here. It's kind of finicky, so it might take more than one attempt. Alright, let's go. That wasn't too fast, but we made it. So this is a lot faster than running around the normal way. So we're gonna run to the right over here and pick up this golden vase, which we need to sell to Pim to get a little bit of extra cash. Alright, we're gonna teleport back, and we're gonna sell off this vase, so that we can then use that money from our sale to pick up some armor, a shield, and a sword. Alright, sell this thing. I'm gonna buy a sapphire ring for a side quest, and a wing, and that's all we need for now. So in the world record route, you wouldn't do the side quest. It takes like an additional 15 seconds roughly, but what you do is you run over here, you talk to this dude, you then talk to the one-eyed dude, he tells you he's lost a ring, and that just happens to be the ring that you picked up in the shop earlier. So he gives you a bunch of gold and enough EXP to level 2 before heading to the first boss, which is the most important part of this run. Okay, let's get a shield, some armor, exit out of this dude's stop. Let's go over here, pick up a sword. And now an interesting point of note is we're not going to equip either of those things, or well, any of those 3 things that we just picked up. We only need them to trigger this flag over here to get Sarah to talk to us about the Books of Iz, so that we can leave this zone and progress the story. If you don't pick up those 3 items, you can't leave this zone. Or, well, you can leave the zone, but you can't progress. But you don't actually need to equip them. You just need to have them in your inventory, which is kind of weird, but interesting. Alright, so we're not going to battle any enemies. We're not going to level any further. You can see in the top left, we're level 2 right now. We haven't got any armor equipped. We've got no sword. And we're going to fight the first boss, because that's quite a lot faster than actually leveling up properly and equipping all that stuff. Because of the way we do this run, the first boss ends up being quite a lot harder than the rest of the entire run. Just because he takes, I don't know exactly how many hits, he takes quite a lot of hits and you die in very, very few. So we're gonna save right before we hit to the boss. And as long as it goes smoothly, we should get him first try, but it can very easily go wrong. Usually I don't have too much trouble, but it is the early morning, and I'm usually not awake that early, but we'll see how it goes. We're getting the weird, awkward luck with these spawns. We haven't been hit by anything, but we've had to fight through a few things so far. Alright, first boss coming up. This is the hardest boss in the run, in this 40-minute run. Okay, we're gonna save right here. And we're good to go. Alright, I'm probably not gonna talk too much just because this boss is a bit difficult, so I'm gonna concentrate a little bit more. Oh boy, this is not good. We may have to reset once. Or reload, I should say. Yep, alright. One reload. You have to be very, very careful. That we can't take that many hits from these flames, but we have to be very, very quick. We can take 7 hits total before we die, or rather we can hit 7 hits till we die. So we have 6 hits before we're on our last hit, and he's got like 20 or something crazy. You also don't want him to spawn right in front of you, because if you hit him at specific points, you can bounce back unintentionally into the flames. So you've got to be kind of very intentional with your hit placement on the guy. Alright, it's too far away. That was almost too close. Alright, last hit. Alright, Genokra's down. Alright, if we position ourselves right here, this wall will blow up without pushing us back. And will give us a little bit... It will save a few frames running in here. I've also got to remember to save because there's not a PB attempt, so we're just gonna save relentlessly all the way through, just in case we die somewhere. Alright, we've almost died. We have to be very careful, because we don't have very much health, or any armor equipped, or even a sword. We can't really kill any of these enemies right now, because we're too low level. Okay, wait, let's wait for the spider to come out. And we die very quickly. So the skulls, these glowing dudes, they do one hit and we're dead. The spiders do almost all of your health, but you can survive one hit from them. But right now we're like a hit away from death from anything. So we're just gonna be very careful, but also swift. Because of the volatile nature of combat in this game, you've probably noticed by now, there isn't really any sort of turn-based system. What is he doing? Okay, let's just... Okay, that's a very bad spawn. We're gonna run down and respawn him, because I don't want to deal with that. Yeah, you just run into enemies and you fight them that way. Alright, glitch coming up, double feeding XP glitch. I'll explain this after I do this. Alright, successful. Alright, so what happens there, you run up to Fina, and she gives you a quest. She essentially asks like, hey, can you help me? I'm stuck in this cell, please get me out of here, kind of thing. That's the gist of what she says, I don't remember exactly. And what you can do is you can either accept that quest, or you can be like, nah, I don't actually want to help you right now. I'll come back later. Oh, okay. You don't want enemies to hit her either, because she's got a very small life bar that can drain very fast. But anyway, what you can do there is you can accept her quest, and then immediately press the cancel button after you've accepted it. And I don't know what that does with the game, but it kind of resets your inputs, and as the text box is fading out, you have time to accept the quest a second time. So if you press confirm, cancel, confirm in rapid succession on that text box, you'll accept it twice. And now, one interesting property of that quest is that Fina gives you 500 EXP for accepting it. Not for completing it or anything, you don't have to do anything else, you just have to accept it. And so long as you accept it twice, you get 500 EXP 2 times over. Not really sure why it's set up that way, but, well... No, actually, I think I have a good idea. There are more monsters that spawn as soon as you accept the quest. So the 500 EXP levels you at that point to, or at least give you just a bit of EXP to help deal with that. Alright. We're chilling out. We've saved Fina. All is well in the world. Alright, this next area that we'll be running into... Oh, actually, wait, we've got another out of bounds clip coming up. My favorite in the game. Alright, so we've got to run to the mines now to check out what's going on with these monsters. So this next clip only saves 2 seconds, maybe. But it looks hella cool. First try, let's go. Your alternative is to just run down and cross the bridge and make it over like a normal person would. But we're all good. This first section of the mines is pretty easy. Generally the enemies spawn in very friendly areas, so you don't have to deal with them too much. So long as you are very aware of where everything is and don't unintentionally run into something, you should be all good. But sometimes you can get very bad spawns like this. I think there's actually nothing you can do about that. That's just unfortunate. That red dude was like in the maximum possible troll position. Whoa. Yeah, these chests are also weird. One weird property is that if you don't hit them kind of at the right angle, you can kind of slip around them. Very buttery chests. Okay, that time he was off to the left a bit, so he doesn't hit you directly, you just parry, which is kind of what you want if he's, you know, more so than any other spawner. Ooh, gotta dodge this dude. Alright. Gonna save here because this is now like this is the most run killing, or this room is most prone to deaths, more so than any other room in the entire run, because it has very fast little rock enemies, these guys, and they do one hit and you die. And there's 2 of them in this section. So we've got to dodge that dude. Oh, that guy's pretty good spawner. Oh no! Okay, wait, hold on. This is usually where most of my runs get reset, at this part specifically. Oh no, I didn't do the chest glitch. It doesn't matter. We lose 4 seconds. Alright, so we've got the Roticy, which we need to eat now. So that we can talk to... I was gonna say the Great Deku Tree, but that's the wrong game. Let's buy a wing. We'll also buy a mirror while we're here. We need to talk to the Rotitree. Sorry, not the Great Deku Tree. That's the wrong game. We've also picked up a silver harmonica from the mines just then, and that belongs to our fellow troubadour friend, Rhea, who's waiting over here for us. Whoops, I didn't do this correctly. Okay, so you can save a few frames by running diagonally into her, so that you don't move up, you just move towards her backside instead. And you save a few frames when Adol runs, oh, well, he doesn't run. When Adol walks back to, like, get his position to, I guess, optimally enjoy her serenade. And, yeah, that's it. We do that. Oh, whoops. I just missed the door. Gonna run over here, and now we're gonna do this clip again that we did at the start of the game. This time around, the first time around, it saved about 8 seconds or something. This time around, it saves almost 20. Because getting to the Rotitree takes a lot more time when you go around. Instead, we just clip through here, and boom, we're almost here. Hello, Rotitree. Alright, so just like any normal tree, this tree gives us a sword. So we're gonna make our first equips of the game, and we're gonna run back to the shrine to fight our second boss. There's nothing too special here, we just gotta run all the way back. Oh, but we do have to talk to Fina, and just make sure she's doing alright. I forget exactly why, but there are very specific flags that you need to set for the game to progress properly, otherwise you can't make it to next areas. And this is one of them. Just gonna walk in here, talk to Fina, and then we just leave. But oh man, the dialogue is fast. Dodge Corbo. Alright, so now we've got a bit more, we've got more health, we've got a sword. We're like level 6. We're ready for these mobs. So we've got to grind, well, I say grind, but we don't really need to grind too much. We just need to kill enemies on the way. And as we do that, we should, so long as we don't miss too many, level to level 7. Now, you can do the next boss at level 6, although doing him at level 6 is a little bit more difficult, and it takes a lot more time. Ideally, you want to level to 7 so that you only do 4 hits of damage and then destroy him. Just gonna pick up a few mobs on the way. Ideally, you want to hit them at an angle and not straight on so you don't bounce back, because bouncing back too many times over the course of the run can actually lose quite a bit of time. So the more parries, the better. And you don't really need to hit every enemy, you only need to hit a few. Just gonna run through here. We do have to pick up the boss key so that we can actually access the room though. I am bouncing a lot. Alright, we've got our shield, so we're gonna take a lot less damage when hitting these enemies. We're also gonna pick up a health potion here, which is kind of a newer addition to the route. It's not super necessary, but it makes things a lot easier down the road. And it's faster than getting it in the mines, which is where we would have gotten it otherwise. Alright, so hidden door over here. Ooh, that dude was over there. Giving us a bit of a surprise. Wait, whoops. Forgot what room I was in for a second. Alright, we've leveled. So now we don't really need to hit any more enemies. We can just run straight to the boss. To Nigtil, here we go. So at level 7, this boss is one of the much easier bosses in this run. He's pretty free. It's very hard to die to him so long as you know what to do. But you know what? For the sake of it, we're gonna save anyway, because who knows what could go wrong in a run. Alright, Nagtilger down. I don't think I really needed to save, but you never know. In marathon runs, anything can happen, and it's better to be prepared. Alright, so now we gotta go run and check up on Sarah and see how she's doing. I should mention also that Sarah is the fortune teller. I didn't mention that before. All these names are in Japanese. What happened to her? She's gone! She was killed, and she left behind a book of his! Oh no! Alright, 1, 2, 3, 4. Alright, we're good. We're running out of here. Okay, that I don't know if you saw that, but very briefly, if you were looking, you could see a cat on a barrel down there. Hold on, it's my wing. Just make sure I don't buy the wrong thing. There's a cat in a barrel, and if you run by it, sometimes it meows. And, yeah, that's all I really want to mention. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any interesting properties or anything like that, but it's a cat, and it meows, and that's important to mention. Alright, we're gonna run all the way to the mines. So we've got a very grindy section coming up soon. If this was a GDQ, I'd be getting ready for some donations right about now, but well, not quite yet. On the next few floors, just gonna run through. Ideally, if I was a task bot, I would just. That was actually pretty good. Those ran into those enemies, but
They just insert.
okay, run through here. All right, we've leveled to 8, so we don't need to level anymore. We're good enough for this next section. Okay, some of these enemies have very weird hitboxes, and it's very easy to lose a lot of health fighting these phoenixes over here. Ultimately, the most important point is to just hit them kind of off-center, and you should be good. If you hit them straight on, they'll do a lot more damage than you want them to. Also, killing that first guard is pretty, I would say important in terms of grinding XP, because you can get him on the way back. This guy not so much, he can do too much damage if you're not careful. But then you get a free kill over there. Also, at this point, I'm gonna equip the health potion. Just in case. I'm gonna use it over here. Alright. So in this section now, what we've got to do is run up and down and fight these dudes all the way to level 10. So this, I forget exactly how long this takes. I think this takes like 2 minutes maybe. So there isn't too much to this point of the run. Just run up and down. It looks fairly straightforward, but trust me, these guys can give you very weird spawns, and if you're not careful, you can die very, very fast. Especially at level 8. They do a bit too much damage, but they give a good amount of EXP. This is the most important thing. In theory, the most optimal way to play this game would be to kill every enemy in your path as you run, without diverging too much from the main path. That way that would minimize the amount of time that you would have to spend here. But since that's very risky, just in general, it doesn't matter if you miss too many enemies. You can be sure that running up to this point is all good. You can kind of make up for any lost EXP at this area here. That being said, the more EXP you miss before getting here, the longer this section takes. Also, did Sloa pop in just before? I thought I heard him.
Yeah, I did. I was.
Oh, welcome back. Oh my god, okay. A few of these guys are giving us some weird spawns and hits. I think last time round I did this in a marathon. I ended up dying after the grind, and my last save point was right before this grind started. So that was incredibly awkward, and that run ended up going very close to estimate time. Oops, I just misaligned myself a bit. Let's just like line up against this wall. Only a few more. Okay. We'll make up the rest of the XP on these knights over here. You don't need to finish leveling over there because you've got another 2 enemies over here which will make up that last bit of EXP. Ideally you want to leave it so that like at least one of them gives you the rest. Alright. Save after every, or before every boss fight. Alright, so this is Vagulian, our fellow, well I keep saying fellow as if like we're one of him as well. Our bat friend, sort of. He's not very friendly, but I wish he was more friendly. Sometimes he gives us good spawns, sometimes he doesn't. Unfortunately, this run is like one of the only parts... Wait, sorry, this boss battle is one of the only parts of this run where RNG can really mess up your pace. You can kind of see he has these 2 phases. He goes into these... He transforms into these bats. Ooh, that was pretty good. And then flies around, or he transforms into his normal sort of self, his like Dracula self. And he stays there, he opens his wings for a tiny bit, and then he transforms back. I don't know why. What a silly Billy. We can't attack his bat form. Why would he transform back? He's just like taunting us for no real reason. But anyway, you can hit him in that state. Sometimes he spawns and sometimes he doesn't, essentially. He can only fake you out a certain number of times. Ideally, he'd spawn on the first, like, you can see like the bats do this little donut sort of shape where they roll around together and they spread out again a little bit. And they can either fake you out or he can spawn. And he can do that, I think, 3 times in a row at max. But you can lose quite a lot of time waiting for him to spawn if you just get bad luck. This Vagulian has been not too bad, actually. He's been pretty swift-ish, sort of. Well, not really. He's very average, actually, I think. It's given us a good amount of trolls and a good amount of spawns, but nothing, like, insanely bad. The trick to this fight, if you're playing this game casually and you just want to get past this zone, is to run quickly enough so that... Wait, do I not have a wing equipped? Oh, that's right, I used the health potion. Ah. Lost another 4 seconds not doing the chest glitch. RIP. Alright, we're gonna run out of here. Yeah, the trick is to stay close enough to him, but also far enough away that the bats can't hit you, but such that when he spawns, you have enough time to run and hit him. Because if you run too far away, then you won't be able to make it back in time when he spawns. But that's really all there is to it. That's the gist of the fight. Alright, so we've got to go back to the village now. We've got to go talk to Fina, who's out on the pier, being all dramatic and the like. Dodge the chickens. We'll talk to her over here. See how she's doing, looking out into the horizon. Or, well, to the right of the horizon. I guess there's more horizon to the right of the horizon. I'd still say she's looking out onto the horizon. Alright. Talk to Jeba, talk to her again, get her to read some books because they're written in an ancient text that only she can read, at the moment at least. Okay, now we're gonna exit out of here. Bada boom, bada bing. But we're not done. We haven't finished doing the flags for the section. Because you're meant to run up and talk to the dude at the Thieves' Den and he'll say, hey, you can't enter here. And then you gotta run back. But you don't actually need to do that part, you only need to run back. And then Jeba and Fina think that you've already tried going there. And then, just run back, and we only do it once. And we save time. Those are the real strats. So one thing I've been sort of doing throughout this run is a glitch where if you have a wing equipped and you open up a chest, you can use the wing, well you can use any item, but you can use the wing while you open up the chest or while the animation of the chest opening is playing. And what that does is it lets you grab the item without having to wait for the chest to finish doing its little thing and giving you the text box and stuff. Just run up to it, use the wing, and you get the item. And I think that's because the way the game works is as soon as you hit the chest, the game's programming tells the game, alright, you've hit the chest, we're gonna put the item into your inventory, and then it plays out all the other cinematic stuff. So you can get the item if you just trigger that flag, but then you can skip all the other nonsense that comes after it. We're gonna grab this as well. Also, it's not a health potion, it's a heal potion. I wonder if it's called that in English as well. I've played the Japanese version so long, I don't actually remember what the English translations are for a lot of these things. I know a lot of the names of the NPCs are slightly different, but mostly the same. Also, I keep calling this Darm Tower when I think it's meant to be Dam Tower, like with a H instead of an R, so that's an interesting point. Okay, so our main objective right now is we've got to run all the way up to the 6th floor to purposefully get captured by a trap, so that we can wait in a prison cell for Dogi to come capture us. I mean, wait, no, not come capture us. Opposite, to come save us, to rescue us from being captured. So we don't want to... That ring that I just picked up, we don't want to put that on. That ring, if you pick it up with nothing else equipped, it will kill you. I don't know if there's anything to suggest that it's that menacing. I mean, it is called an evil ring, and it looks pretty gloomy, I'm gonna say. But yeah, if you don't have anything else to equip that could protect you from the curse of the evil ring, then I would recommend against doing that. But I think at some point or another, everybody does that at one point. Alright, we're gonna get captured. Speed those text boxes up, talk to the cell, talk to the sky. That's our friend Ludi Gemma, we're gonna have to save him later. And we've just gotta wait. One interesting thing to note is all those balconies that we run against, or every time we exit a floor and run along a balcony and then exit the next floor, you can run either left or right, and you will eventually hit the next door. Just wait for him to give us a little thing. Alright, we've got our idol. Yeah, you can run either left or right, but there is an optimal way of running along those balconies. On every balcony, one of the two directions is faster than the other by 0.6 seconds, I think. So if you pick the correct direction on every floor versus just running left every single time, you end up saving like 8 seconds total or something. Which is really weird but interesting. Alright, this series of text boxes right here, this most aptly illustrates why the Japanese version is so fast. That takes so long in the English version. Also, random interesting note, if you exit that room and don't move after the screen transitions and equip the blue necklace and unequip the mask, you get pushed out of the doorway, so you don't actually need to run all the way out of it. Alright, so at this point, we've got everything set up so that we don't fall victim to the trap. We've got our little necklace, which will also protect us from the evil ring. So what we're gonna do now is run up to the 6th floor, like we did before. But this time we're not gonna get caught. Instead we're gonna run up further, pick up our sword, and get ready to fight our first boss of the tower. Our boomerang throwing friend. Wait, I said that wrong. Throwing friend. Apologies for my lisp. Alright. Let's see if we get some decent spawns so that we don't have to take damage. Oh, this is okay. That's actually pretty good. Alright. We've got our sword back. Alright, so all we need is our sword. We don't need to pick up any armor throughout this entire tower. It would be helpful to, but only helpful in the sense that it would help us not die. But we don't care about that. Oh, I just took the wrong direction. We lost 0.6 seconds! No! Every direction after this point was correct. That was meant to be a left, but oh well. Yeah, we're not going to pick up any armor because it's slow. So we're going to take the risk of dying. Alright, picked him down. You have to be very careful there because I almost died doing that little stunt. You can, at the very end of his, once he's almost dead, as long as you can judge how many hits you need to kill him, you can kind of keep running into him and take those last few hits of damage. But yeah, generally you just want to avoid his 3 scythes? I don't actually know how to pronounce that word. And yeah, you just gotta wait for him to throw all 3 of them out, attack him, run back, get him to throw them out again. he'll throw them to whatever position you were standing at. So the further you stand away, or the further away you stand, the further he has to throw them. So they stay out for a little bit longer sometimes. Alright. So our next task on our list of objectives is to break a beam on the 11th floor. Now when you play through this game without realizing that this thing is here, you'll... Whoop. I don't know where you're going. Everything is slippery in this game. Yeah, there's a corridor on the 12th floor, which we'll see pretty soon. And if you run into that normally without having destroyed that beam, it does damage to you the further along as you like kind of run along. Is this corridor here? If you try run along it, you can't make it all the way to the end. You'll end up dying, like no matter what. There's nothing you can do. But if you break that beam, then the corridor, I guess, becomes passive. And yeah, I guess if you know that ahead of time, then you can just break the beam before you even reach that room in the first place. And then you're pretty much all good. So now that we've done that, we're gonna run and fight another very easy boss despite being very far in the game. Oops, that was meant to be a right. We've lost another 0.6 seconds. I'm sorry, guys. I'm ashamed of myself. So the strategy for Consclard is very simple. You just run in a circle, and that's literally it. We're also gonna save, because who knows what could go wrong. Alright, Consclard down. So there isn't really much of a tactic to him. You just gotta run at the right... Run in a circle, and just run the right distance away from his center. And then you'll do enough damage to him that you can just kind of keep running through him, and he'll take a lot of hits and you won't take very many. I think you can do that battle damageless, but that's insanely difficult to do, and I'm not entirely sure how to do that. But that's pretty much the gist of it. Alright, Mirror Maze time. So we've got a bit of an annoying series of events, because we've got to run to the 15th floor, talk to Rhea, and then run all the way back down to the 11th. To go check up on our friend YeGA1, who we met up with in the cell for the first time, hilariously enough. And he's a very interesting guy. He doesn't want to talk to you unless you've read his book. Or rather, the book that one of his ancestors wrote, Volume YeGA1. So as soon as we get an item from Rhea on the in Rado's Annex. Oh, that was a lot of damage. We'll be able to read the books that we have in our inventory. Alright, so you need that evil ring just for that scene over there. You need it to open this door. Because I think it's got something to do with, like, if you're pure of heart, you can't open it or something. Okay. We're gonna use this, read this book. Not that book! This book! Alright, and equip the mirror, and we're good! Alright, so that's what we needed from Rhea. And she'll just chill there, she'll be alright. Just dodge these dudes. And we're gonna run all the way back to the 11th floor. Talk to YeGA1. He's gonna give us an essential item that we need to be able to access the final boss, and then we run all the way back. All the way back up. So yeah, that's the only bit of backtracking that we have to do, but this seems like the fastest order of events to do it in. Alright, so since we're running down, the optimal direction on the balconies is reversed. Also, the reverse direction for the mirror maze is not the same, because they spawn you in slightly different areas. But we should be good. As long as you remember the pattern, it's very hard to run into the wrong mirror, but it can happen, as with most things in the run. This 12th floor, this is my favorite floor. There's no enemies, you just run through. I like the little pattern that you have to run in. Alright, we're almost back. Alright, good spawn from that dude over there. I think one thing that's happened in the past, I've died in this section, not really paying attention to how much health I have, thinking everything is okay. And then accidentally getting hit by one too many enemies and just dying here. When I do PB attempts of this game, I usually don't save anywhere. So it becomes very awkward to lose health in places. Alright, here we go. Here we have the blue amulet, which is something we need to access the final boss of this game. And he won't give that to you if you haven't read Volume Gemma. So, it's kind of an interesting point. I think when I played this game for the very first time, like way back in 2013, which actually doesn't sound like it was that long ago. I think I forgot, or well, I say forget, I've never played it before. I had never played it before, so I couldn't have forgotten, but I didn't know that you needed to read that volume for whatever reason. So I was stuck for ages trying to figure out what on earth he wanted from me. And I finally realized it was that he wanted me to read the book. I forget what exactly he says, but I don't think it's very straightforward. Yeah, I don't think he says, like, you need to read the book written by my ancestor. He just gives you some sort of cryptic hint. I think, at least. I'm not entirely sure. Anyway. So we've got the mirror now. So we bought the mirror for a very specific purpose. We're going to use it on the 17th floor to get through a bunch of scorpions. So we're going to go back to this room that we were at before, but this time around, instead of running towards Rhea, we're going to run up some stairs that we passed the last time we were here. Just over here. And we're going to see that on this next floor. So if you don't have this mirror, you can still get through this section. It's not very fast, because the only other way to do it at this point in the run, if you don't have the mirror, is to lure them out. So to walk in, lure them out, walk back in, lure more out. And just do it slowly like that. So if you've forgotten the mirror at this point in a run, then that's the end of the run for you. But if you got it, you're all good. That's the only thing we need the mirror for. And that's pretty much it. There's also a backup potion in that room. If you go back up in the middle, like back up the middle pathway, you can pick up another health potion. Just in case you took damage for whatever reason, and you had to use the health potion earlier, you can always pick up that one. There are a few locations in the game where there are health potions that we can use as like backup, just in the rare case that we take crazy amounts of damage and have to use loads of health potions. Alright, flame sword coming up. I'll just save here just in case these guys give us bad RNG like that. Can we still make it? I wonder. With 21 health? I'm not so sure. Alright, normally I'd have a lot more health here, but we took quite a bit of damage. I could have reloaded, but we want to be fast, so we're going to take the risk. And we'll save just in case anyway. Alright, good spawn. Bad spawn. We have like no health, so I'm gonna save everywhere. Alright, we're all good. Alright, final two bosses of the game. Let's see if we can first try, hopefully. For the sake of the marathon. Whoops. I think we're all good. So that wasn't super optimal, but we made it. And that's the important thing. Alright, so we need to equip the silver sword because Dark Fact is allergic to silver for some reason. The flame sword does barely any damage to him. I don't think it does any damage, actually. Well, I say that, but I don't actually remember if it does damage or not. Alright, time for the hardest boss in the game, the final boss, the evildoer behind it all. Oops. No, this fight was suboptimal. Alright, let's go again. He actually did kill us. Well, that made my last comments a bit less funny. Oh my goodness. Okay, this Dark Fact battle, sometimes you can get pretty bad luck. But it is mostly on a rail, so this is just me being bad now. Alright, that's ideally what you want to happen. Alright, we're gonna pick up this last book over here. And time is coming up shortly. So time is on the last text box now. Alright, that's the game. That's YeGA1 Chronicles for the PC in Japanese. Thank you very much. We have completed half the story of the first 2 games. Alright, well, that was fun. For whatever reason, this cutscene at the end is in a 4:3 aspect ratio, despite literally nothing in the entire run being in 4:3, only this cutscene. I think the reason behind that is because the original game engine that this is built up on is the complete and eternal versions, are the complete and eternal versions released for the PC in 1998 and 2001, respectively, I think. So they took the ending cutscene straight from those games. They just ripped it from complete, I think. They didn't change the aspect ratio or anything. They were just like, yep, that was fine. We're just gonna pop it in the game. All good. No modifications necessary. But everything else, nothing else is in 4:3. You can't even play this game in 4:3. An interesting thing about the Steam release is that you can choose the aspect ratio, and you can, like, there's a lot of control options and stuff. So you can choose if you want to play, like, in the complete style, the Chronicles style. You can change it from, like, from the widescreen version to the version with borders. This version, though, you can't. It's just in widescreen, and that's it. And I think that's just because this is the way it appears on PSP. But yeah. I hope you enjoyed watching my run of probably my favorite game. I've played far too many hours of this already. And yeah, we got some credits to sit through.
Alright, if you don't mind,
Yes. Whoa, whoa. That was a loud noise.
Sorry. My mic doesn't like to pick up my voice sometimes, so I have to smack it a little bit.
Oh, okay. Fair enough. So that's a unique problem.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just a unique problem that started happening today. So, you don't mind, we'd like to be able to go ahead and just go ahead and next turn?
Oh, I'll go ahead and say, make sure to follow me at Twitch.
You're good to cut. Are you good to leave? Yep, you're good to leave. Hey, thanks for running. Alright guys, so up next we have Korzik. So I'm gonna get some music on and I'm gonna get that set up for you guys.